Hello, namaste lads and ladies. Welcome back finally to another manga review. If you're wondering why I'm not in the chair today, I've got to fold my my washing basically. So, we are doing, sorry, give me a minute, I've got a lot of crap in here that I need to sort out. I'm in a bit of a rush at the moment, so I'll go out to see, I've got to go do some stuff. I'll leave that stuff here for a bit. Yeah, as you can see, we are doing the 8th volume of Komi Cannot Communicate. I actually like this. They've actually gone to Kyoto for a little excursion, especially the back picture as well. I can't tell what she's got by her lips. I think it's either an oak leaf or a maple leaf. I think that's an oak leaf, to be honest. Yeah, I believe that's an oak leaf. So, I'm going to quickly do my folding of my washing whilst I do the review. And they say gents can't multitask. Anyway, we start off basically with Najimi, Tadano and Komi within school. They're just talking the regular, they're just shooting the shit basically. And then Komi's still worried about Tadano with his cold and all that. And I think she questions him whether or not if he can make the trip or not. Because she talks a little bit about her past, how she always wanted to go on the trip to Tokyo. Sorry, not Tokyo, Kyoto. But she couldn't because she was too shy. I think it's something about looking up at the board and like figuring out the times of when to meet or to go on the train to Kyoto and all that stuff. At the end of the day, her lack of communication skills kind of led her to not being able to do it. And so Tadano, being the very supportive friend he is, basically offers to her, you know, if you can't go, then that's fine. We both won't go together, basically. She feels guilty. She doesn't want him to miss out. And then he says, it doesn't matter. We can always just go together, basically. We can just go whenever it pleases us, basically. That's not a problem, really. They're talking to each other on the phone because she can't look at him in the eyes whilst talking to him. It's a bit too embarrassing. This is like after he asks her, like, you know, what did you do after I passed out from the, you know, fever, basically, from the cold, basically. She looks back on, like, holding his hand and stuff like that. She gets nervous, and I think that's what leads her to, like, still being a bit, like, shy around him, basically, hence the phone call, talking about the trip and all that. They go on the trip. But before all this, you actually meet 3 new characters. 2 of them are the shy types, so an awful lot like Komi. They basically follow her around and go with her. They're basically in a group, basically together on the trip. And there's this 3rd guy who I'm just going to call the narcissist because I don't remember his name. I didn't even bother to look because I thought to myself, great, another prize prat. But honestly, there's this section where he talks to Katai. Katai, you know, the guy who's seen as the delinquent, but he's actually quite a lovely chap. He just, like, looks the part of a delinquent, basically. Anyway, there's this section when they're in the onsen. You know, it's like a bathhouse, basically. Everyone's a bit nervous about going in and all that stuff. Anyway, Katai basically goes in completely buck naked, full confidence, like the strangest thing about it, because he tends to worry the most about his day-to-day life, really, because he doesn't want to upset anyone, basically. Which I think is the good reason why they brought this narcissist guy in, because he is the polar opposite to Katai. Although he's overconfident in a certain sense, it's that confidence that Katai needs, really, to help him improve and to make himself seem a little bit more, well, it helps him act normal, basically, because he just, like, says to Katai, you know, like, you know, you're quite fit, aren't you, Katai? And he says, well, yeah, thank you. And he says, well, take it off. And then they do, like, a pose together and all that shit, and I just think, okay, great. Because it helps with his confidence at the end of the day, you know. I mean, there is a thing as being overconfident, but then at the end of the day, you know, I can at least look at this narcissist guy and then think, okay, there is something good about him. He's able to help Katai out, you know, because Katai has that big overconfidence issue when it comes to his presence, basically, because he feels that he's, like, warding people off, unfortunately, I feel for Katai because he seems like a very lovely chap. He is a lovely chap. I did kind of skip the bit where the narcissist guy like meets Komi and he thinks Komi likes him because she gives like him his handkerchief after he drops it in one of the school halls and all that stuff. And then it kind of just like, okay, she's gotten a friend who apparently is a narcissist, as you do. Anyway, they're on the trip. They there's like this on and off thing with this festival where these ninjas that go in and out, like interacting with the crowds. They like play this part of like I can't remember what it's called basically. Like, oh, someone's kidnapped the princess and all that, help us out, and Komi's the princess, and one of the girls who's with Komi is basically masquerading as like this protagonist basically that helps protect like the innocent and the frail and all that stuff. Like, and her weapons are like yo-yos, so she uses the yo-yos and all that stuff to like to fling at the guys, and they're like, is this part of the act? why are they missing the uniform? Because like she's in a school outfit and she's just wearing an Oni mask, and they're like, okay, he's got the mask on at least, that's fine. But then they're like, why is he wearing a skirt? I don't know, maybe it's part of the act, you never know. Anyway, and then cuts to them basically talking to Komi, like if she has any crushes or anything, like maybe you can just write down the first letter. It's not alluded to their first name or anything in general, she just writes the letter H. For some reason I don't know what this represents. Oh wait, no, it's his last name, isn't it? Is it? I can't remember if Tadano's last name is Hidetaka or is it Hiro as in H-I-R. It's either Hidetaka or Hiro, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up, but I cannot remember. I think it is his last name initials is H, because they in Japanese culture they always say the last name first basically because it's polite, and you only say the first name if you're like close with someone basically. So I had the door open because I couldn't get the thing sorted. Anyway, clothes are folded, that's good. Now I can give you guys my full attention. Right, so there we go. Now, a couple of things I did skip over. There's also a bathhouse scene with the ladies. Nice. Nice. There's also a bit where she feeds a deer. That's always cute. There's the deer, there's Komi, and there are the two lasses. I can't show you, hang on. One thinks it's cute, the other one is frightened of the freaking deer. Honestly, I shit myself too. Because you know of the whole thing with my fear of deer. Like I'm not scared of deers basically. I mean, I've worked on a farm and I've seen plenty of them. Like within the wilderness and all that. Because there used to be a thing when I was at Plumpton College. We used to go out and ward off fox hunters from the area basically, because sometimes they didn't care about the rules of fox hunting and all that stuff. We just made sure they didn't do it on our lands. We had plenty of sanctuaries for foxes to live within our forests of ditchling basically. So whenever we had the case, we always go out in the forest to make sure the foxes were safe and dandy basically, and sometimes we see deer. And the thing that would scare me about deers were their horns. It's something so different compared to other creatures, because when we think of like demons and all that, we always give them horns and stuff like that. So it's like that bit from Bambi. I've explained this already, but I'll explain it again. You know that bit where Bambi's father is basically going up the ravine and he's standing on a stone, like this big rock, and just looking out through the forest. You're meant to look at that as regal. I look at that and think that's freaking creepy, because then there's this bit like beforehand, just shortly beforehand, where he passes Bambi and just looks dead at him, and his ears just like twitch towards him. That creeps me out because I used to have a nightmare when I was a kid. I don't know if I could tell you this. It's really embarrassing. I used to have this nightmare that after I first watched it, I love the film. Don't get me wrong. I love the film. I can watch it now and I'm not creeped out. But when I was a kid, I went to bed. I closed my eyes. I had this dream. I remember this fucking dream because it was so real. I was in Bambi's place. It just replayed the scene over and over again until he walks off, stops, looks at Bambi, then looks at me. His ears droop towards me, and then he smiles. He smiles. He actually fucking That creeps the fuck out of me. That really creeps the fuck out of me. Honestly, because I think of the antlers as something as demonic, basically, when I was a kid. Not anymore. I mean, a deer's a deer at the end of the day. Do you know that deers bark? Certain red deers bark. It's a very weird thing. It's kind of like, like whenever they like make that noise, it's to ward off other animals, basically. And I guess they do it as a way to mimic other predators, that another predator is in the area sometimes. It works sometimes pretty well, because my friend in Sweden saw a deer, and he says that that's true. They've actually made the same noises as well. So at least I have someone that can claim, oh yeah, he's right. They do sound like dogs sometimes. It's like when you see them hop, basically. I'm here reviewing a fucking manga, and I'm talking about a fucking deer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just telling you about a freaking nightmare I had when I was a kid of a freaking deer. Like, if you could see the picture of this deer in my mind, of like fucking Bambi's father. What's his fucking name? I don't know what his name is. But he's just creepy. It's just creepy. And then he like straddles down the hill after hearing the birds coming from the forest and just stops his feet. So everybody like looks at him and is like, oh shit, we're fucked. Run, boys. And I'm like, okay, now I can get back and enjoy the film, basically. And then it doesn't help that his voice actor is like, Bambi, you must get up. You must get up. Because I was expecting him to sound more like deep voiced. Like it sounded like, I can't blame the actor, because you know it was a good voice actor for him. But I was expecting something more creepy, you know, like, you must get up. You know, you must get up. Get up, Bambi. Get up. Like really freaking deep toned and all that. But no, it was just the normal, you must get up. Like 1950s style, like Eastern Asian dubbing, you know, like, haha, lovely to meet you, my friend. Even though the lips aren't syncing up, basically, like, my friend, how are you? Like, you know, like that stuff like that. It really still pisses me off when I hear of Bruce Lee getting dubbed, and I think to myself, the man could speak perfect English. Why are they dubbing him? Why are you dubbing him? Like, really? It's so stupid. Anyway, to move on, basically, this is after Komi basically confesses somewhat to the letter of Tadano being her crush. The other two girls are confused. They head back on the train. They head home, basically. And they kind of look at Komi as she's sleeping upright on the train. I've always felt that kind of weird. Like, I can't sleep on transits because it just weirds me out. So I remember this one time when I went to Japan. It was a 17-hour flight. I stayed up the entire flight there because I just could not get comfortable. And I'm sat next to this young lass who is scared of flying. So I'm sat there having to babysit this woman who's completely scared shitless. So I can't sleep. And while she's tuckered herself out, she's now sleeping on me. So I don't want to move, because then if I wake her up, I'm then going to have to like be Barney the purple freaking dinosaur to her again. So I've just let her slip on my shoulder. And I'm just sat there thinking, I want to sleep, I can't sleep. I ended up having a headache about maybe 10 hours into the flight, because I was just so tired at that point, because we got up like really late at night to go, because we wanted to get there early in the morning to sort some stuff out for the seminar. On the flight home, it wasn't bad. I didn't have much to eat. I just had a melon bread. Honestly, I want to go back to Japan, or I want to order some online. I want to get some melon bread. That stuff is delicious. It's like, it really is bread, but it's got like this sugary honey type coating over it. I could just get some honey and sugar and just get some bread, but I kind of want it from the country basically because it's just so goddamn delicious. You know, just get it where it's made best basically. And it's true, they have a lot of vendors in Japan. I've been there and it feels really overwhelming how many vendors there are. Like if you had enough yen on you, you can get anything from a vendor, like a vending machine. Sorry, not a vendor, like a market seller. Yeah, you get those everywhere. I meant like a vending machine, basically. You know how those little egg things pop out, like when used to have toys and those types of things. It's like that, but you can get like different things, like keychains, like bean bags, necklaces, earrings, stuff like that. You know, like small stuff, but it's still you can grab anything you want from a vending machine. It's pretty ironic, really, pretty funny. So yeah, it ends off basically with them heading home on the train. Tadano sits next to Komi. They have a little chat, and then it kind of becomes obvious that their relationship is starting to bloom and bud, basically. And then Tadano asks her, like, did you have fun? And she's kind of like melancholy about it all, you know, because she barely spent time with Tadano, but at least she made like 2 new friends and had a good time. So that's all fine and dandy, really. Yes, so sorry for like the rushness of this review. Although I've had 2 uploads recently, the DVD, I'm finally glad to be back doing that and finally able to play a new killer that I did continue to play off video for the time being. I think I played him for about maybe 3 or so months or so, and then I just dropped DBD for a bit because my console kind of like funked on me. It just like I wanted to take a break from it from a time, and then I came back, and then I hear that the Xenobites and Nemesis and then Sadako came out. I'm really enjoying Sadako. There's going to be a lot of gameplay of Sadako, or the Onryu if you don't know, if you haven't seen the original Ring series. Honestly, I have seen the original Ring series. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get a couple of my family members and friends. We're going to have a horror night. Maybe I might stream it, I don't know, we might see. But I don't think I can stream the actual film. Maybe our reactions and stuff like that. I don't know. I might have a look. I'll ask what you guys think. Do you think I should stream it or not? I don't know. It'll be down to you guys. It'll be quite interesting, really. I wanted to like watch the second and third film because I didn't manage to watch the second and third film. I only managed to watch the first Ring film. It was very good. It's very good actually. Compared to the American version, I did see the American version, but honestly, it can't compare to the original. Like, it's the same with like Halloween. Granted, the new remake with Michael being older and Laurie being older, I thought to myself, great, we've got a badass like final girl who like is a little bit older in age, but she's still showing that she's badass. Basically, you know, she's probably the original like final girl when it comes to everything. Maybe apart from Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street, because the way they ended her story, I'm kind of like happy the way it ended. You know, she's still alive, and Robert Englund got to come back one last time for that role with Nancy, which was nice, really. And I think also he plays her manager, I think, or I think her I think basically Robert Englund is a close actor friend towards Nancy in like the last film. That's the one where like the actual curse of Freddy comes out. And I think he actually kills Robert Englund. I can't remember, but he actually kills himself in that film. It's pretty funny. And he actually looks more gruesome in that, how his claws look more flesh-like and skeletal in a certain sense. And this is when Nancy has a child, basically. That's definitely a good film. That's a good film to watch, actually. I love my horrors. I might even start watching the Saw series again. It's been so long since I watched those. But anyway, this review's gone on long enough. Sorry to keep you waiting again. Anyway, thank you ever so much, lads and ladies, for joining me on another little review of Komi Cannot Communicate. A little bit rushed this one. I'm sorry, I have to go out and do some things. But yes, the next review will be on Spy Family, or Spy X Family, as I like to call it. It's the second volume. It's going to be picking up a little bit better. And yeah, I guess I'll see you all next time whenever I do anything around here on the channel. So, take care, my friends. I'll see you all next time.